All right, last update. Staying in the state of Mississippi, let's jump on down to Starkville, where Mike Leach move away from the lawnmower, thank goodness. But he provided the latest update on the quarterback competition there, and also on the offensive line, which, I don't think it's tough to talk about offensive line in depth on a podcast like this, but that was, of all the issues that plagued Mississippi State last year, it was the offensive line. I mean, how many times did we see defenses drop 8, rush 3, and 3 were beaten 5 consistently at Mississippi State last year, which is inexcusable, particularly when you got some talent on that offensive line like Charles Cross, who some people think may be one of the highest drafted tackles in the upcoming NFL draft. So certainly didn't showcase that last year, I didn't think. But Mike Leach talks about the offensive line and how that unit is coming together. And according to Coach Leach, pretty much everything's open here.
Yes.
Coach, you brought in a lot of competition in the quarterback room, bringing an incumbent starter back. How do you kind of characterize the quarterback competition? Is everybody chasing Will, or is it an open deal?
I think it's an open deal. I mean, I think it's an open deal. I think Will and Chance are at the top, but it's an open deal.
When do you kind of expect to see one of those guys start to separate themselves, or is it a circumstantial type of deal with that?
It's circumstantial, but we need to push it. We've got quite a few more practices to do it, but there'll come a time where we have to make a decision and split the reps different.
With the offensive line, do you feel like they're pretty established so far with the 5 you want up there, or is that still kind of open to moving around as fall camp rolls on?
I think most of it's open. Most of it's open, and we're slowly becoming a tougher, grittier group, and that needs to happen.
All right, so not much there from Coach Leach. He's not giving away much this camp, but it's interesting. I don't know how much I believe him. We've been firmly in the Will Rogers camp here. I still think that's the way, and particularly when he didn't even say Jack Abram is the one eyeing for number 2 there. So how much is Will Rogers really getting tested? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I really thought those comments were interesting on the offensive line, because if we got to get this thing going, we know we got, at least I think they got the quarterback in Will Rogers. They've got 2 solid running backs. They've got several receivers that can get it done, and led by Jaden Walley, of course, who may be the breakout candidate in all the SEC this year. They've got the weapons. They've got the pieces. But none of that matters if you don't have an offensive line that can block 3, not to mention 4 or 5, 6 sometimes that's coming at you. So that's going to be critical. That's got to be worked out. And, again, Mike Leach, I don't know how much you take away from his quarterback comments, so maybe I'm reading too much into his offensive line comments, but that's something that I really have my eye on here during camp at Starkville. And last thing from Coach Leach, this was just great. He was asked about the SEC media poll. Bulldogs finished last. I mean, it's almost like a tradition where some people, I guess they just don't follow Mississippi State or don't care. And it's just, I think they start at the top right in Alabama. They start at the bottom right Mississippi State and work everything in between. That seems to be the way the media poll goes at Hoover each year. So Mike Leach was asked about that. I thought the classic Leach here.
The SEC preseason media poll came out a couple weeks ago and it predicted you guys to finish last in the SEC West. Do you kind of use that as bulletin board material or with your guys?
I pretty well ignore it. I mean, I don't ask those guys' opinion on anything else, so I'm probably not going to start with that.
He don't give a damn. Don't ask questions like that. So I just thought that was great. Yeah, I thought I had to share that one. But, hey, that's enough spieling from me.